Welcome to the Narrowboat that James built. Hope you're well, thanks for joining me, and happy Easter. We're going to take advantage of this beautiful weather we've got today, and Rob and I are moving the boats, and we're moving the boats to uncharted waters for me, and it might be a bit of a new thing for some other people on the channel who haven't seen a narrow canal. We are going down just through the lock there to the Aylesbury Arm. We're turning left and going down the Aylesbury Arm, which is a narrow canal. I think it's pretty much the same as this, apart from the width, obviously. The main difference are the locks. They're single locks, obviously. So Rob and I will have to take it in turns to go down. I think it starts with a staircase lock, and apart from the locks being narrower and the gates being slightly different and the way of operating it being slightly different, it should all be pretty much the same. It should be nice and quiet, which is good because I've got some painting to do on the outside of the boat down the Aylesbury Arm, so that's the main reason I'm going down. But this is going to be a lovely day for cruising, so I'm just going to put some coffee on and we'll get cracking. I'm looking out for those little ducklings. I'm hoping they did turn around. They went further up there where the bank is easier for them to get out. Right, making our way to the first lock. I'm looking forward to using the bins at the services point, clearing my roof. Sadly, the White Lion, the iconic pub in Marsworth, it's been closed for years, but now it's been converted into flats, which is a real shame because it's a really big development site. It could be much better than just two fancy houses. Anyway, we have finished our first lock. Right, let's get these gates open. Right, here we are coming up to Marsworth Junction, I think this is called. So, the water point and services are just down there a little bit, so we're going to moor up there, bask in the morning sunshine. I've got to fill up with water and use the bins. Rob's got to do a pump out, fill it up with water and use the bins, and then we'll reverse a little bit and go down there, which is the first lock of the Aylesbury Arm, and you'll see it's a narrow lock, so just one boat at a time. Here we go, I'm first, so I can use the nice rubber matting which is on the side of the jetty here, and Rob can use the concrete. Because I've got no gauge on my water tank at the moment, the way I can work out how much I've got to fill it up by is using a dipstick. Luckily it's a straight down drop into that. I know where the height of the top of the tank is, and that's what I've got in there at the moment. Okay, 40 centimetres, we're full. There's no more water points where we're going, so I'm filling up everything I've got. It's just me on the boat for this cruise. The girls have gone back home after, I think they had 8 days on the boat with me, and I've got to say, I just had the most fantastic time with them. I really did. We had lots of good weather, which really helped. But most importantly, they had a really nice time as well, and the day they left they were kind of sad to go, and they actually wanted to stay a bit longer. Usually what I'm used to is them kind of every day saying, oh, when are we going back to mummy, which, you know, I understand, but they didn't, there was none of that this time. So I mean, that just made such a massive difference. That was just great, and a massive part of it is the boat. They were comfortable, there was more for them to do, more space for them to be. They weren't on top of each other as much. And likewise for me, I was able to do stuff and get on with bits and pieces with them on board as well, because we weren't just all in one space. So It was really, really superb. And now I'm on my own. This is lovely. I'm kind of experiencing cruising again. I'm quite happy they're not with me for this cruise, if I'm honest, because it's a new canal I'm going on. I'm not really familiar with the locks. I wanted to film some of it, and them being around is not so kind of conducive for that. But I'm just really enjoying cruising Serium on her own. I've had slow patrol alongside her for like a year and a bit, and it kind of got to the point where I wasn't really enjoying cruising anymore. It was a real bind, certainly in the neck of the woods where we are, because there's so many locks, you can't really go for any decent skint without having to stop. So tethering two boats was kind of arduous for a while, but now I'm just back on my own. This is just really, really enjoyable. So I really wanted to kind of enjoy the cruise today, which, you know, the weather's good, so this is going to be lush. So I have my morning coffee. I've got a pano shocker, fresh pano shocker. So this is going to be quite civilised, sitting out here waiting for Rob to finish his pump out, which is the less civilised part of the ordeal. Okay, time to reverse to the Aylesbury Arm. So single gate at the top of the lock and double mitre gates at the bottom. And this is a staircase lock, so one feeds the other. So from there, you go straight down into there. Holy crap! Wow! I was not expecting that drop. Huh. Wow, look at that, a balcony there, that is lush. Oh wow, this is going to be fun. Not really sure what to do. Okay, please ensure the bottom lock is empty and the paddles closed before emptying the top lock. Right, so just before I bring the boat into this lock, got to check that this one's empty and that paddle's closed, which it's not. So I'm going to go and close that paddle. Trying to line this up to get into the first lock. It's pretty narrow, it's very narrow, obviously. Right, that ought to do nicely. Bottom chamber is empty, paddles down. Now I can operate this one and this will start to empty this lock, and then, if I'm honest, I'm not really sure what I do. Okay, that lock is nearly full, they're nearly at the same level, then obviously I can open these two. Obviously did know what to do. It's just that when you're looking at it, it just doesn't look a bit odd. And it's well scary, seeing that massive drop down there. Okay, let's do this. I can't work out my boat, 58 foot, right at the front of that. Rob's, that's gonna look terrifying in this lock when it's all the way down. His boat, 70, it's gonna be right at the back down there. These locks are taking no time at all to empty. These are cool. I like these narrow ones down there. This is so cute. I've never been here. It's even got a narrow little old lane crossing it. Oh, this is lovely. I have heard good things about the Aylesbury Arm. So far, it is living up to expectations. This is pretty as you like. I think I might moor up just in between these couple of locks. I hope my chimney's going to be all right getting through this. Make a bacon sandwich and wait for Rob. Gonna hit. Mission to proceed. Not much room in there, is there, for you? It's going to be tricky to set this lock up. I kind of need to drain this pound a little bit. I can't. We're kind of about to breach the banks here. Managed to jump across it, let some water pass, and then I can open this lock. That's crazy. The CRT did warn me that water levels down here are a little bit interesting. Okay, I've addressed the towpath malfunction, but there's still quite a bit of overflow on this, so I'm just going to let it drain for a little bit. Then I'll close that paddle and let the residue fill that lock chamber. Then when I go down, it'll take all the water down with me. Just making my way down to lock number 4 to set it up, which on this particular one involves closing that gate, lowering that paddle and filling it. But look at that property there. That is just unbelievable. And I think all of that's theirs. Look at that. That's absolutely stunning. Blackjack's lock number 4. And the views they've got are simply staggering. Oh, bless him. Rob's using his "I've just shat myself" run to go down and get the next gate for me. That's kind of him. On the Blackjack's lock, which is number 4, and I think there's a little bit of a gap now between this and the next couple of locks, so we're just going to pull over and have some lunch, which would be rather nice. Then I'm going to walk back and help Rob do some locks. Yeah, some moorings up here, and there's Armco. Happy days. This is a nice little spot moored up here for some lunch. Still got a couple more locks to go before we get to our destination. But this is a nice little spot, with the exception of That dead deer floating by, that's less than attractive. Poor little fella. Right, we've had a lunch stop and now we're just going into the 5th lock, I think it is, on this arm. I think we've got 2 more locks, then there's a bridge, and we're going to see if we can find moorings somewhere by that bridge. It's been pretty quiet down here. There's only been like two boats we've passed so far, so yeah, it's pretty quiet. And it's a lot broader than I thought, and banks on both sides are all pretty good. There's Armco pretty much down the whole way. I mean, this is, from so far, this is a little bit of an unkept secret. I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. This is lush. Right, just getting into this lock, making sure I don't hit anything. Happy days. Just kind of working out, all right, Rob's coming down, setting up a couple of locks, I'll go through them, pull over, do the same for him. So we're kind of making quite speedy progress, which is lovely. This is just charming, it really is. And these gates are almost weightless. And it takes like no time at all for these locks to empty. It's really nice. I'm loving this canal. This is definitely a chimney off kind of canal. The boat's got full tank of water, full tank of diesel, and the boat's pretty much completely fitted. All my stuff is on it, and I've got about 2 inches of kind of stern chine out the water, which basically means I need ballast. I mean, it's fine, but it should be under the water that bit. We're bringing a lot of water down with us, which is a good thing. It looks like it needs it. The CRT said we might struggle to open a couple of the gates because of that issue. Alrighty, we're all moored up. Never been here before. This is Wilstone. Looks pretty nice. Little kind of wooden bridge thing there. I think it's a kid's playground over there. And Armco. Well, that's the highlights. Apparently there's a really good pub here in the village, so that'll be good. Although I can't see a bridge anywhere that I can get a car to, so not sure if we're going to spend much time here. But yeah, this is nice and rural, nice and quiet. There's quite a few boats though, more than I expected. This is lovely. I've just seen someone out the corner of my eye who was looking a bit shifty as he walked past me. I've just seen him jump on board a CRT boat, an unmanned CRT boat. Mate, the CRT are coming? Well, because that's their boat.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
Just see what it's like. So I want to buy, one of my mates' dad wants to buy a boat. He wants one like this, which has a big back on it like that.
A barge?
Yeah. Do you know how much they cost around there?
No. But you can't just jump on someone else's boat, mate. Certainly not the CRTs. You can't do that.
Yeah.
But no, they're quite a lot of money.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. Cheeky little fucker. The problem is he knows what boat I'm on now, so he's going to get all his cousins down here on their horses and fucking do my boat over. So I might have to move again now. He seemed polite and kind of fairly okay, but you would be if you'd just been caught jumping onto someone else's boat. Oh, go on then. I quite like this mooring. It's Wilstone as a village is pretty as you like. But this mooring's kind of overhanging a little bit with solar, with trees. So for solar, it's not particularly ideal. That scallywag did come back again last night to the CRT boat, so I had to kind of run down there again. And just as I was approaching, he saw me coming and then darted it again. So. But notwithstanding that, I don't think I'm going to be here for that long because, yeah, it's just not really, I don't know, I just want to do a bit more exploring, really. I really enjoyed that cruise yesterday. There's a bit of vibration in the engine, which I need to have a look at. I think it's the throttle timing. So I did adjust it because it was running quite quick in idle. Not in idle, it was running quite quick at like minimum rev. So I adjusted the throttle a little bit, but I don't think it's kind of right yet. So I might speak to Darren up in Calrose and see if he can help me with that. But whilst I was here in Wilstone, I wanted to do two main things on the boat. Firstly, commission the electric system, and secondly, start prepping the outside of the boat for painting, which I was going to do today, but thanks to a comment I got when I moored up here yesterday, from Mega Dave 2, who resides on a boat up in Marsworth, he said I need to redo my earthing point on the engine because the engine is on rubber mounts. Its existing earthing point is all right because it's just on the alternator, but this is something else coming in. It's to earth the inverter. So I'm going to follow his advice and make another earthing point somewhere in the engine bay and mount all the new stuff to that. So I think that will be the way forward. And thank you to someone else, I've forgotten who it was, but someone said about my fuse locations on all this 12 volt stuff in here is at the wrong end of the cable. To be honest, I knew it was. I know it should be at the closest to the source of the power, but I thought because they were quite short cable, I'm making excuses here, but because they were fairly short cable lengths, I thought I might get away with it. Or it might not be that much of a big deal, but apparently it is totally incorrect. Not just incorrect, it's totally incorrect. So I'm going to, again, I apologise, I don't remember who left the comment, but whoever it was, I'm going to redo that. So my commissioning of the electric system is going to be a little bit further down the line, but hopefully in the next couple of days, because I really do need that on. But other than that, I am quite looking forward to carrying on further down the Aylesbury Arm. Yesterday's cruise was just really, really enjoyable, despite the kind of rumbling of the engine. But yeah, we'll get that sorted and continue our way down the Aylesbury Arm. Thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.